Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. Much of Northern Ontario remains under both a heat and an air quality warning.
What that means for us is that we're seeing this haze in the air.
Forest fires have left a thick discoloration in the air that experts say needs to be taken seriously. Plus, Uber is looking to forge its way through Northern Ontario.
This is really good news for all of Northeastern Ontario.
The rideshare company has gotten the green light and is looking to launch this summer. And celebrating a centennial.
There's letters addressed to the president, to our executive. They're like I said, beer coupon.
Sudbury celebrates the Legion's 100th anniversary, which includes uncovering a time capsule.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. We begin once again this evening with our eyes on the skies. The weather is extreme. That is heat right across Northern Ontario. Maximum temperatures of up to 37 degrees with humidex values up to 45 once again being felt. Environment Canada says today marks the peak of this heat event and that it's important to take action to protect yourself and others. Public Health says early signs of heat exhaustion include headaches, nausea, dizziness, thirst, dark urine, and intense fatigue. All of this heat hasn't been helpful to the wildfire situation, and as a result, smoke experts say humidity has trapped thick, smoky air over much of our broadcast region. CTV's Elena Everson has more on the air quality concerns and what's causing this smoke to be so strong across the Northeast.
Blue Coat Megan Mitchell is a STEM specialist, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics at Science North. She says smoke from the forest fires in northwestern Ontario is drifting east.
What that means for us is that we're seeing this haze in the air. Now, because of the higher humidity, the air molecules also sort of trap the smoke particles, which is why we kind of see it and smell it in the air. It's very, very clear.
Mitchell says there is also a reason the sky looks different.
The haziness of the sky, so that color, we're used to seeing that beautiful blue. What's happening is the smoke is basically scattering the blue light coming from the sun and makes it so that the yellow light comes through, which is why the sky also looks like a weird color also.
Public Health Sudbury and Districts has issued a heat alert, which occurs when the humidex is expected to reach 40 for 2 or more days.
Have the ability to find relief from the heat, keeping hydrated and finding a cool place that they're able to allow their body to recoup from the last few days of experiencing the intense heat.
Public Health says the smoke can impact the Air Quality Health Index. As of 1 p.m. Tuesday, Sudbury moved into the high-risk range.
Clearing your throat, feeling scratchy, right? Maybe a bit congested. Those types of symptoms are the start, and prolonged exposure, and if the situation gets worse, symptoms can also get worse.
Given the sweltering heat and hazy conditions, Public Health says it's important to check on people who are at higher risk of heat-related or respiratory illness. Elena Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Forest fires in northwestern Ontario have led to several nearby First Nations and communities to evacuate. Communities north of Lake Nipissing from Collins First Nation to Armstrong and Cushing Lake were told to evacuate last night and to head south to Thunder Bay. OPP say residents in Ignace, Crystal Lake and along Highway 633 are also being told to prepare for evacuation. And this incredible footage from inside a train that had to be stopped near Collins shows the intensity of the forest fire in that area. Police are saying the train has combustible and flammable materials on board and had been stopped and staged near the small community. The people on board the freight train got away safely, but the train remains on the tracks between Collins and Armstrong. Police are asking the public to stay away from the train and railways at this time. They add emergency responders and railway officials are working together to assess the train's condition. Hot conditions have left several parts of the broadcast region also very dry, including Sudbury. City of Greater Sudbury has declared a fire ban effective immediately. That means all open air fires, including campfires, chimney fireplaces, crop residue fires, fireworks, and any other type of outdoor burning is currently prohibited. It's just one of several fire bans now in place, including the city of Elliot Lake, Killarney, and Nairn-and-Hyman. In other news, a young offender has been found guilty of second-degree murder in connection to a shooting inside a bar in Greater Sudbury 3 years ago. The judge delivered the guilty verdict Monday for the young person, who was 16 at the time and cannot be identified. The case stems from the April 2023 fatal shooting of 22-year-old Joe Cabigon at Overtime Sports Bar. During the 2-week trial in March, court heard how there'd been an altercation between two groups of men who were unknown to each other. After one group was kicked out of the bar, surveillance video showed one person returning to shoot the victim in the back of the head while he sat at the bar. In her decision, the judge disagreed with the defense's argument that the young person was under duress from the co-accused. Sentencing is set for April 4th. The co-accused is identified as Noah Singh, who still remains at large since the incident in April 2023 when he was 19 years old. He remains on Canada's most wanted list, top 10. After 3 years of waiting, Elliot Lake is one step closer to welcoming residents back to its renovated arena. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
On Monday night, Elliot Lake City Council received a progress update from Perry & Perry Architects, the firm managing the Rogers Centennial Arena reconstruction. Officials say the immediate goal is to get the ice and dressing rooms ready for the return of the Elliot Lake Vikings, who were forced to take a leave of absence from the NOJHL while the rink was closed.
The priority right now is the Viking section, the arena, and the use of the arena, and the dressing room. The lobby is not required for the Vikings' use in terms of what they need to do for their training camp. So we're focusing our efforts in those three main areas to get them occupiable and ready for use.
While the lobby will take more time, architects say the insulation, sprinkler system, and accessibility upgrades are nearly complete. The ice is expected to be in by August 4th. Some members of council recently got a sneak peek inside.
I was very impressed today. Very different than what everybody will remember what was inside. A lot of work, still a lot of work to be done. You have 6 weeks, but in the last 6 weeks, it's tremendous how much has happened. All in favor? And that is carried.
Council also voted to lock in the final $26.6 million budget to rebuild the arena, a price tag put forth last month. They also approved a $750,000 contingency fund. With the permanent CAO position currently vacant, the move gives interim acting leadership the direct authority to approve emergency spending, avoiding any election year delays and keeping the project moving.
We believe that is something that can at least give a little bit of breathing room, just in case if there is something that comes up. Obviously, with the election on the horizon in October, we don't want to get distracted from our goal of making sure that we have that facility open as soon as possible, and obviously in September.
Perry says the project is under budget and is optimistic the arena will be ready to welcome the public in time for the Vikings home opener at the end of September. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
The popular ride-sharing company Uber is planning an expansion in Northern Ontario. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
Uber has the green light to serve Northern Ontario, including Greater Sudbury, Timmins, and North Bay, as well as more than 75 towns between Gravenhurst and Cochrane.
Well, this is really good news for all of Northeastern Ontario. Probably many of them don't have any type of rideshare service or taxis for that matter.
Uber says it's been approved to operate under the province's new one-year rideshare pilot program framework, with a launch planned for this summer.
So there's currently, I think, 444 municipalities in Ontario, and many of them don't have regulations for rideshare. And the ones that do have them, they vary wildly between different jurisdictions.
In May, the Ministry of Transportation announced the program along the corridor of the Northlander passenger train return, as well as in Greater Sudbury, to connect riders to the train when it launches.
We're going to do everything we can to ensure that it gets used. And I think that it's on us to use it, make sure that it works. And certainly if it's worthwhile, I think it'll continue to happen.
Miller says the framework will streamline the rules and regulations for ride sharing that were originally set under municipal bylaws in each city or town.
It's our hope that we can have one provincial framework, one set of clear, consistent standards for insurance, for safety, for consumer protection, for background screening, to make it very easy.
Canadian ride-sharing services U-Ride and Y-Drive currently serve some of the larger communities in the north. Uber says it is now working to recruit drivers. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
A follow-up to a story we brought you last night. Porter Airline says its flight from Sudbury to Ottawa is being cut. CTV's Madison Merrier is getting reaction.
In an email sent out to Porter Airline employees, the company shared they are exiting the Sudbury market effective September 7th. In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson says in part, Porter has grown extensively over the past 3 years, and there are many markets with strong demand and new opportunities where we need to deploy aircraft.
While we recognize that this announcement is disappointing for many members of our community, we share in the disappointment, but ultimately we have to be reminded that air service is a use it or lose it service. Ultimately, we have to use air service if we want to have it from our community.
Sudbury's mayor also reacting today, taking aim at the airline on social media, saying while Porter has indicated that ridership did not meet expectations, many passengers have also pointed to challenges with the service itself and suggested fares, schedule, and the loss of the direct route to Toronto lowered value to customers.
As a whole, the Sudbury Airport has continued to grow year over year. For example, if we look year to date for 2026 versus our 2025 year, we've seen a 12.3% growth over the same period in 2025. In 2025 from 2024, we saw about an 8.5% increase in our passenger volumes. So a strong performance, and that's largely driven by our carriers here, unfortunately with the exception of Porter Airlines.
We started the Ottawa-Montreal route in October 2025. And since then, we are still operating the route. So I have to say we started with 6 flights per week, and now we reduced to 4 for multiple reasons.
Lemire says one challenge Prop Air faced was their competition with Porter. Meanwhile, Porter claims people wanting to drive as opposed to fly, as well as virtual meetings, have reduced air travel demand. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Tony will have our full weather forecast. For now, we'll look at the weather warnings we have in place tonight, and that is clearly a lot. We have air quality warnings in around Chapleau, Sault Ste. Marie, and much of the area heading east, but the rest of that's all a heat warning. It was clearly hot outside. Anytime we are above 30, that includes with the humidex, we are going to have a heat warning, but the area in orange is even hotter. So it is a hot one outside. Make sure you are taking the necessary precautions. There are the current conditions as we see them at this hour. We are probably a little warmer than that's supposed to be in Chapleau. That might be a little closer to 20. We'll have more details coming up after the break.
Win your way in to Boots and Hearts with CTV and Pure Country, August 7th to the 9th, Burrells Creek, Ontario, featuring the Jonas Brothers, the Chicks, Rascal Flats, and more. Win a pair of weekend passes, including camping and parking. Enter today at ctvnorthernontario.ca.
Good evening, everyone. Let's start your Maine weather with our forecast radar. Another hot one today, but just to let you know that heat warning should come to an end tomorrow, Wednesday, and the air quality will be so much better on Thursday because we've been experiencing all that smoke from those wildfires in northwestern Ontario. On our forecast radar, while there is some shower activity early Thursday morning, and then that's going to move out of our broadcast region, we should start to see some clearing skies, the odd shower or two depending upon where you live. All right, here's your 7-day weather forecast starting with Sudbury Nickel Tomorrow, beautiful sunshine and cooler, 27 degrees, should be 25 this time of year. Thursday, we start to see increased cloud cover. Friday looks like a beautiful day. Saturday, back to the showers. That kind of spills over Sunday into Monday and also Tuesday, but check out the temperature, 20 degrees. 5 degrees below normal. In Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, tomorrow, beautiful sunshine, spot on, 24 degrees. Then we start to get a few more clouds, a little shower activity, also overcast on Friday. And it looks like Saturday is going to be a soggy day, a little bit more sunshine on Sunday. Next Monday, 22 degrees, a little cooler, 19 only on Tuesday next week. For Timmins, Cochrane, and Kapuskasing, your forecast for tomorrow, well, sun, cloud, and showers plus risk of thunderstorms. Temperature 1 degree below normal. Then as we head into the weekend, well, a mix of sun and cloud. Temperature almost the way it should be this time of year, and then much cooler next Tuesday, 16 degrees, 8 degrees below normal. For Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, mostly sunny tomorrow, and then we start to see a few more clouds, showers, some clearing on Friday. Saturday, back to the rain, and then on Sunday, some lingering shower activity. You'll see some breaks of sunshine, of course, and Monday, Tuesday look like wet days. Much cooler, though, on Tuesday, only 18. And finally, folks, your 7-day weather forecast for North Bay. West Nipissing, mostly sunny, 27, should be 25, so slightly above normal. Then the temperatures start to drop a little bit more cloud cover in through Thursday. Friday looks beautiful. Saturday, though, looks like a wet day. Sunday, we start to get some clearing. Monday and Tuesday, rain. But take a look at that temperature on Tuesday, 21 degrees, below normal for this time of year. Ian, it's back over to you.
Thanks, Tony. The Ford government is racking up a considerable tab to keep American alcohol off store shelves in Ontario. It's cost the Ford government $8 million so far to store U.S. spirits, wine, cider, and beer. The products were pulled from the LCBO and other retailers in March of 2025 in response to President Donald Trump's tariffs. U.S. booze sales in Ontario previously totaled $965 million a year. The province says U.S. alcohol will remain unavailable until the tariffs are removed. The tourism minister is facing scrutiny over his accommodation expenses. Public records reveal taxpayers have been footing the bill for thousands of dollars in hotel stays for Stand Show, despite living 6 kilometers from Queen's Park. The minister now saying he will reimburse the full amount. CTV Siobhan Morris reports.
Stan Cho has been called one of the rising stars of the provincial government. But now there are questions about the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Gaming's expenses.
The minister got caught with his hands in the cookie jar.
Since 2023, taxpayers have covered more than $16,000 worth of Toronto hotel stays filed by Cho. The thing is, his home is just 6 kilometers from the Ontario legislature. MPPs who live within 50 kilometers of Queen's Park aren't eligible to have the public pick up the tab for a hotel unless there's an emergency like a snowstorm.
Now, I'd like to know why Doug Ford's ministers think it is acceptable to live the sweet life on the taxpayer dime while Ontarians every day right now are struggling just to afford the basics.
Cho's office said they couldn't accommodate an interview, but the minister shared a statement writing, "While these expenses meet the criteria for special circumstances, I will be personally reimbursing the legislature for the entire amount of the expenses incurred." The minister hasn't explained the reason for these hotel stays or why they were initially billed to taxpayers. That's leaving opposition leaders to come up with their own theories.
Because he felt entitled to them, right? Entitled to them, just like his boss felt entitled to the luxury private jet, right? And the MO with this government is, let's see what we can get away with.
The Ford government called Deb Hutton for a refresher on conflict of interest after the Greenbelt scandal. Now she says the Premier needs to make sure his MPPs understand what's acceptable to expense, something she thinks has slipped.
We're past the point where just adhering to what the actual policy is really smart. You need to actually respect tax dollars, and I think in this case, Stan Cho didn't.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
An Algoma-based dairy company is continuing its Northern Ontario growth with expansion into Sudbury. CTV's Corey Nordstrom reports.
From his farm in Echo Bay, Vic Fremlin has overseen significant growth in his Lock City Dairies brand.
It's been 35 years that we started the market, and everybody thought, well, this guy is going to take on all the big guys. He's not going to last too long. We expanded 5 years ago into Thunder Bay and Marathon and all that way now up that corridor. Now we're expanding towards Sudbury.
In the Sioux, the dairy's lot has 20 trucks moving merchandise.
And then we bring it through here.
New branding and products have begun with the latest expansion.
We have a lemonade now coming out.
With its full fleet of products, Fremlin touts the recent expansion into Sudbury's South End Walmart as something fully driven by people's passion for supporting local.
I'm proud of Northern Ontario, and as that's why I want to give the customers of Northern Ontario a choice on our milk that's in Northern Ontario and that they don't get, because the milk now, some of it comes out of Quebec and some of it comes out of Southern Ontario.
Expanding into new stores means that the farmers that Fremlin works with can be proud that their products stay in the area. He says he would eventually like to see all Northern Ontario dairy farmers supplying Lock City.
Right now we're working with about 12 farms, and like I say, the whole area has 90-some farms, but they're spread out far away. As I get bigger in the other areas that are out from Algoma, then we'll be buying more product from them.
Lock City Dairy's next expansion will see its products in a second Walmart in New Sudbury coming mid-August. Once established with this chain, Fremlin wants to continue their growth to other businesses and communities east of Algoma. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. Haileybury celebrates a big centennial and uncovers history along the way. More on that in a moment. Soccer fans know the first team who will compete in the FIFA World Cup final. Fans in Spain celebrated in the streets as their national club will play in the final match this Sunday. The Spanish team beat France 2-0. And a bitter rivalry will be renewed when England and Argentina take to the pitch in Atlanta in the other semifinal tomorrow at 3 p.m. You can find out who will play Spain Sunday live here on CTV as well as TSN and Crave. As a result of the game, CTV News at 5 will be preempted, but we will be on the air at 6 right after the game's done. Another major development for the community of Black River Matheson after a string of new builds that include a motel, restaurants, and a gas station. Today, officials broke ground on the community's first licensed childcare center. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
This park in Black River Matheson has been a place for children to play for generations. Soon, construction will begin here on the municipality's first licensed childcare center.
We did some research and we coordinated with the Cochrane District Services Board, and when the reports come out, it was needed for growth, it was needed for the families, it was needed for the local economy.
The $1.5 million project will create 39 licensed childcare spaces, 15 for toddlers and 24 for preschoolers. The development will also include an early on family center. The project is funded through the Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare Infrastructure Fund.
It maintains components in the formula that allow us to address need, which are called childcare deserts, and Black River Matheson has had one for a long time.
The board's director of Children's Services says the number of children aged 0 to 4 has tripled in the Cochrane district since the last census.
We have families that are attending childcare in South Porcupine, Timmins, Iroquois Falls. We have a lot of families using, having their parents help with childcare while they're going to work or staying at home.
Costello says 22 children are already on the wait list for the new center in Black River Matheson. That means it would be about half full if it opened today. People who live in this neighborhood say they are pleased a childcare center is being constructed in the municipality, but say they are not so happy about losing some of their green space.
It's a concern. Like, we would have liked to have kept the space. We are looking forward to the daycare 100%. We do need it. I retired to babysit. I have friends that have retired to babysit.
We just wanted it over a little bit so that the public could have more play space.
The board says the green space will remain a community hub with plans for family activities and amenities like play equipment and picnic tables. The new center is expected to open in early 2027. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Black River Matheson.
Finally, it was quite the party up in Haileybury as the Royal Canadian Legion celebrated its 100th anniversary tonight.
It is my honor to join you as we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Haileybury Legion Branch 54.
To mark the occasion, Legion officials unveiled a time capsule that was buried back in 1986 as part of its Diamond Jubilee. The Legion's president helped unveil items that had been perfectly preserved, such as beer rationing coupons from 1944. The items will be put on display for the week so the community can see the history for themselves. Work will also start on reburying it.
There's letters addressed to the president, to our executive. There's, like I said, beer coupons. There's a magazine from 1926 that was put in the time capsule. The time and effort that they took is just inspiring.
Other items included a letter from the Haileybury mayor at the time, who has since passed away. Very cool. And that's a look at your newscast this Tuesday night. Marina will be back with your next news for the North after tomorrow's soccer game. Until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.